Welcome to There Is Grow, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear of favor. The ranking member on Parliament Economy and Development Committee, Oppong Nkrumah, has questioned the implementation of the NDC government's flagship 24-hour economy program, arguing that despite Parliament approving about 650 billion in public spending over nearly 2 years, there's little evidence the policy has delivered a promised result. Speaking on the floor of Parliament, while seconding a motion for the House to adopt the report of the Economy and Development Committee, the former Minister of Information said government's much publicized 24-hour economy policy has yet to produce a single identifiable beneficiary operating under the model that was promised to Ghanaians during the 2024 election campaign. According to Mr. Oppong Nkrumah, the 24-hour economy was marketed as a transformative industrialization and employment program built around the simple concept of one job, three people, three shifts, popularly referred as the 133. Which was expected to create thousands of new jobs, round-the-clock production in both the public and private sectors. He recalled that since assuming office, the government has repeatedly been urged by the minority to present 8 major policy documents to Parliament for scrutiny. He noted that apart from the annual economic policy statement, the 24-hour economy policy document remains one of the few substantive policy frameworks officially submitted to the House, despite the administration nearing its second anniversary in office. Mr. Oppong Nkrumah said Parliament has appropriated close to 660 billion Ghana cedis over the past 2 years to finance government programs and interventions, yet the flagship policy that dominated the government's campaign narrative has failed to demonstrate practical implementation. He argued that after nearly 2 years, the government has not been able to identify even a single public institution operating under the promised one job, three shift framework, describing that reality as the clearest indication that the program has fallen short of the expectations created during the election campaign. The legislator said discussions during the committee deliberation revealed that government is now shifting attention to new pillars of the program, constructing 24-hour markets and designing incentive packages for private sector operators. He questioned whether building new markets would automatically result in continuous economic activities when many existing markets across the country already struggle to attract traders beyond designated market days. Drawing from his own constituency, Mr. Oppong Nkrumah said he has a modern market that does not operate around the clock, adding that similar situation exists in many districts where market becomes active only once a week. According to him, simply constructing additional markets without expanding economic activity, production and consumer demand will not guarantee 24-hour trading. He argued that government appears to be relying on assumptions rather than practical economic realities by expecting new infrastructure alone to transform commercial activities. This is a lot. Let me add this. He further argued that the introduction of the 24-hour economy effectively displaced the one district, one factory initiative, which according to him was already delivering measurable and industrial outcomes in which of the district. Citing the National Development Planning Commission's annual progress report for 2024 published in June 2025, he said the official government documents confirmed at least 150 one district, one factory projects were operational by the end of 2024. So this is from the former Minister of Information, Oppong Nkrumah. I believe we can all remember back in 2024, one of the flagship program of this current administration was to establish something they call the 24-hour economy. And that is, they are going to build a well-modernized, equipped market in 261 districts, which means that each district will have a modernized market. Now, the government have 4 years, and we are almost completing this second year. So let's just say that the government have been in power for 1.5 years now. In the remaining months we have to complete 2026 is not far. It's just at the tip of our nose, which should clearly tell you that within a twinkle of an eye, we will be done with 2026. But as it stands now, the 24-hour economy market is yet to be built. We've seen videos where structures were demolished, all in the name of they building a 24-hour market. We saw that of Kaswa. We saw other districts as well. Now, this 24-hour economy market they are bringing on board is a nice policy. So the market they are building, or they are about to build, it's not just a mere market like the ones we have. That is a modernized market that will have a police station, it will have a bus stop, it will even have a place where they sell fuel. It has a lot of things that it will be chipped in there. So it wouldn't be like excuse me, this is the market, but then you need to walk from the market for a long distance if something is going on in the market to report a case to the police, or you have to walk a long distance to get something or relay an info to someone very important. They want to include everything in a 24-hour market. So in a 24-hour market, as I said, there will be a police station. In a 24-hour market, there will even be schools. In a 24-hour market, there will even be a health center. So it is a whole lot of initiatives in one. But this market is yet to be built, and this is how it's going to be: 1 job, 3 shifts. And so we have people that work in the morning, we have people that work in the afternoon, we have people that work in the evening, so that it keeps the people busy. Traders will work throughout to get their money, consumers will also work throughout, then they will get their money. But we are clocking 2 years, and we've not seen the markets. We just hope that by the end of this year to next year, they will build this market, or they'll fulfill the promise as they said. Building 260, so this is, and in total, they are building 261 markets. And I'm just imagining whether they have enough time to complete or build all this markets in all this 261 districts before they leave far. This is a promise you made to the people, and I can boldly tell you that the citizens of this country are keenly paying attention to see whether the promise you've relayed out, you are going to fulfill it, or it's going to be one of those that we always hear of and it remains on paper. It doesn't materialize. Because if you're talking about 24-hour economy, and as it stands now, there is absolutely nothing to show. It raised a lot of questions in the mind of the people. Now, one thing that I don't really agree with the former Minister of Information was that he said the one district, one factory that they brought on board, the initiative they brought on board, they've completed about 150. And I'm kind of confused. Which district has the one district, one factory they're talking about? Because what I know was the government collaborated with an already existed company. And so they sourced them out. So imagine maybe there is a company here in Anya, and they are into processing, say, yam, into yam chips or yam flour, or maybe rice, or say beans. And then the company is not doing so well. The government collaborates with the company. The government resources the company, and the government ensures that the company is running effectively. But he said they've built 150 and I didn't see any. In my district, where I come from, there is yam and there is cassava. In fact, all the yam and the cassava you enjoy here in Accra is coming from my district. That is where it's coming from. But they said, they promised us that they are coming to build a Gari factory. And the Gari factory is nowhere to be found. The Gari factory, as it stands now, is nowhere to be found. But he is claiming that they've commissioned 150, one district, one factory. If that is true, then I think we shouldn't even be complaining about employment. And sometimes I wonder where they get that from. I don't know whether they just want to cover things up or they are just saying it for saying sake. Because what I know is that they said some of the one district, one factory has been commissioned, but it's not up to the number he said. Is it something that is on ground, that is being effective, that has employed people, or it is just being stated because of propaganda? And you see, so this is where the repetition of one thing keeps coming in. That you say something, you bring out policies, you bring out initiatives, and then we don't get to see it. We only get to see it on paper. We don't get to see it materialize on ground. We were here when they told us that they are going to build one district, one factory, one village, one dam, one constituency, 1 million, a whole lot of promises. But how many of this did we see? Fine, maybe in your constituency you have gotten all this. But in my constituency, there was nothing like that. And you see, this will be very painful if after the structures are demolished and no market is being built. For instance, I was talking to my dad and then he told me that they want to come and build a 24-hour market at my place. And when they want to build the market, it's a whole school, a government school. And that school has been in existence for so many years. We already have a marketplace. But they said the school, where the school is situated, that is where they want to build the market. And so they demolished the school building and they've laid the foundation. So one thing I asked my dad, I was like, why? Is that the market we have there? They cannot demolish those structures and then modernize it, build it, or they feel like they have to do a new thing. And as I said, it will be very painful and Ghanaians will not forget this if after the structures are being destroyed and no market is being built. We saw that of Kaswa, where a lot of traders were complaining that they've demolished their kiosk, they've demolished an existing market and a whole lot because they want to build 24-hour market. But the 24 market is yet to be built. So what we are saying is that we want to see this market materialize. It's not only on paper. You have 4 years and we are almost done with 1 year. Our next election will be in 2028. And I can boldly tell you that from somewhere June, July, Ghana, everybody will be busy to bring out another new policy. All politicians will be busy because they want to convince you to vote for them. And that is where the challenge will come. So, see, the time is very, very limited. Very, very, very limited. We just hope that this materializes. But if it doesn't, then you see the same issue that Ghanaians keep saying that all politicians are the same. Well, it will be true. We just hope that it comes to pass. But there will be a very huge disappointment after 4 years in power, and there is nothing to show of 24-hour market. Thank you for making time with me on this work.